This is the plaintiff, Vincent Peter Mills. He says he bought a car from the defendant, got it insured, and when he went to the DMV to register it, they confiscated the title. They told him the title was tampered with. It was now void, and they advised him to return the car and get his money back. He had to jump through hoops to get a clean title on the car. It cost him an extra $1,508.46, and that's just what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Eric Dimitro. He says he did nothing wrong. It was the plaintiff who fouled things up with the DMV. The guy never filled out the title reassignment paper, and all the problems he had with the DMV were his fault. He tried to help the plaintiff out, but once he called the cops on him, that was the last straw. He's accused of getting touchy over a title.
Vincent Peter Mills, you are suing Eric Dimitro for $1,508.46 in money that you had to expend to get a car he sold you registered. Tell me what happened.
Okay, on November 4th, I met with Mr. Dimitro to take a look at his car. It was a 2002 Nissan Altima. And I had a friend with me at the time, a mechanic, who was to check out the car with me. So we liked the car, seemed it was okay. And at that time, he also gave me a title.
Somebody who brings a mechanic, and then he doesn't have a mechanical problem he's suing for. That's why. Okay, so go ahead.
So at that time, paid him $2,800 for the car, and he gave me a title, a reassignment from Delaware, and a bill of sale.
Okay, what is that?
It's something that I got from the person that I bought it from. Because
who did you buy it from?
I bought it from a person on Craigslist, and I re-advertised it back on Craigslist.
I'm trying to understand what you do. Is this your business that you buy low, sell high? What?
No, it was actually a car flip. I know a lot about cars, and I bought it at a good price, and I sold it at a good price.
Did you drive it or do anything to it in between?
No.
Okay, and so it was never registered in your name?
No.
All right, and then the paperwork you received from the seller in Delaware was what? Do you have a photocopy of it so I can see it?
No, but I believe he should have that.
Do you have a photocopy of the paper? I guarantee you he doesn't. I guarantee you that he used it and that was that because nobody thinks that. Do you have one?
I have the Delaware reassignment he gave me. I have a copy of the title.
Wow, look at that.
Hold on, let me hold on to that feeling.
Give it a second, quiet.
Hold on. Wow, hand it over.
I actually have the original. That's all of it.
Okay, so this is what he handed you.
Yes.
This is actually what he handed you?
That's actually the Delaware reassignment. There's a copy of the title because the DMV confiscated the original title.
Okay. So area of erasure, you put here a little sticky. What was that?
Because on the copy it's not really clear. The last number of the mileage.
All right, now, Delaware dealer's reassignment. Was this blank when you got it?
I did not fill out the year, make, and model. I just filled out the total price, the year, make, and model under the Delaware dealer assignment 1. I filled that out, and my name and address. At the top line, that was already there.
Okay. Who filled out the odometer reading?
It wasn't me.
On the dealer reassignment. Kind of looks like your handwriting, though.
It was me. I'm sorry.
It was you. Okay.
It was me.
So the title says mileage. Who's Richardson Imports? Is that you? Well, how many different people are involved in this? This says printed name of dealer, Progressive GM, but the title says owner Richardson Imports. Who's Richardson Imports?
Like I explained to the gentleman, the day I bought it, I did not look into the paperwork either. So I didn't.
You have an obligation when you sell a car to give good title. That's the only thing you got to do. Everything else, it's buyer beware. But the one thing you've got to do is give good title.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but everything was open. Everything was clear. All the
No, it's not open. This is this pre-printed stuff I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
The title says owner Richardson Imports. The Delaware reassignment dealer's reassignment says printed name of dealer Progressive GM.
It should be somewhere in the back.
So it's like junk title. So they didn't have title, you don't have title, but I mean, I don't know how you expect him to register. What ended up happening? You went to the DMV, what happened?
I went to the DMV. They told me I couldn't register the car. And on further inspection, they looked at the title and they saw that it had been tampered with. They confiscated the title.
Because the title says that the mileage is 20,000. What kind of car is this?
A Nissan Altima.
2002, and it says that the mileage is 20,000 miles on a 2002 on a 10-year-old car?
I think that's why they snatched it.
Well,
Yeah, and then, but this document, the dealer reassignment, says it's 122,000, which would mean that the eraser's in the wrong place. The erasure probably happened in the front. But this problem caused him certain expenses. According to you, those expenses are what?
Those
The
expenses
250
are-
paid to the mechanic. Why would he ever, under any circumstances, have to pay for that when that's something you did in order to buy the car? And it turns out the car's mechanically sound anyway, which still wouldn't be his problem because it's an as-is sale. But why would he have to pay you $250 for the mechanic?
Well, having to flip through so many hoops, I was so angry with him that the mechanic helped communicate with him because I didn't get anywhere.
The answer to
with
that one's no. All right,
Okay.
and then the next expense is amount owed for car insurance from November to December, because according to, you finally ended up being able to title the car, right?
Yes.
How did you end up titling the car?
I spoke with the dealer in Delaware, and we spoke over the course of a week or two. He said he was going to get the title. I had to put pressure on him with the Delaware DMV and tell him if he doesn't help me, he's going to be complaints issued and it'd be difficult for him to get his cars registered. And back and forth with him, he put me in touch with a third person who finally, I had to go back out to Brooklyn. Finally came with a Florida reassignment, another Delaware reassignment.
You mean a prior owner?
I really didn't understand it, but I guess so. I didn't. So that's how it went. We
Oh my
finally
gosh.
got the car registered after all that time and having to go through so many hoops.
So you finally got it registered when? In December?
December 28th, I believe, delivered it.
Okay, so you're asking for your car insurance for the month you weren't able to drive the car because you couldn't register it. You're asking for parking. Can I see proof of the car insurance? All right, and your parking garage charges because you couldn't leave the car out on the street because it wasn't
Yeah.
registered. Okay,
Right.
so prove to me your parking garage charges. That's kind of weird. These are kind of the receipt books that you can get at a. And I'm not used to seeing it
I
like
didn't
this.
park
This
it
is
in a
kind
garage.
of
I
Walgreens
rented it
receipt
from-
books, you know? What?
I rented it from a friend.
Ah, from a friend. Okay. Car rental, gas tolls, and buses. Do you have proof of that?
Yes.
Why would somebody pay for your gas? What are you putting gas in? You can't drive this car.
Oh, I had to rent the car
Oh, I see.
for the rental.
But wouldn't you pay gas? I mean, gas is something that you would be paying whether the car worked or didn't work. It's not something you were forced to expend extra. Assuming that you're reimbursed for the car rental, gas was always going to be on you. It was never going to be free. It's not free for the rest of us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in
Yes.
other words, the rental makes you whole. All right. And how are you proving the amount of your lost wages?
I have my the form I have to submit to
Okay.
take the time.
So let me see it. And why lost wages? If you rented a car, you were able to get to work, so why would you be suing for lost
No,
wages?
I took the bus to work. I had to take days off. It's a long
to deal
story.
with
I
it,
had
you
to
mean?
go to.
Because in
When
order to
I
deal with
consulted a
everything
lawyer.
you're saying.
They told me to file a civil suit, and where I live, I went to the New Jersey courts. I took the buses there. They told me I couldn't because the incident occurred in Brooklyn. So they say go to New York. So I went to the Bronx court. They told me, well, if you file it here, it'll probably take a long time because we'll end up sending it to Brooklyn. So then I went to the Brooklyn court. And I went through lots of hoops to try to make this thing happen. Yeah.
I know. So what say you to all that?
it's a lot to swallow.
It is a lot to swallow. It's a real pain. Is this how you do business all the time?
No,
Okay.
it didn't occur that way.
It didn't occur that way. Tell me how it occurred.
Okay. The day he went to register the car at DMV, okay, and I have to speak the truth, he's a gentleman. He called me as a gentleman. He never argued with me or anything. Okay, the day he went to register the car at DMV, he never filled out the reassignment, which I sold the car, flipped
How do
it,
you know that?
because I asked him that.
But that's the paperwork.
They
you-
said he never filled out the reassignment.
Who's they?
DMV.
How would you get a person in DMV to tell you about a transaction that they had with one person out of 200 that
No,
day?
he was telling me because there was he didn't know where to sign his name on
It was
the
a what?
reassignment. He didn't know where to sign his information on the reassignment. When he asked me this, he was at DMV. So he
Right.
kept on going to DMV. They kept on giving him a problem because he wasn't signing the right information in the
Wait,
reassignment.
but stop. You can't just say what you want to say. You have to prove to me that you know what you're talking about. How do you know what his problem with DMV was? because he called you and said what?
He doesn't know where to fill out his information.
What difference does that make? If there's
This
a
was the problem.
reassignment, in other words, was he supposed to have filled that out before? And what difference does it make if you fill it out at the counter?
He was supposed to fill it out before he went to DMV.
But why? Because we're trying to fool DMV into thinking what?
Because the state, the law, when you buy a car with a reassignment, they thinking you bought it from a dealer to DMV. So you're supposed to sign all information. Any real dealership.
But why can't you sign it at the counter? Why would that be a problem at DMV?
don't know.
I'm
That's
not
the way-
following.
that's
Unless
the
we're
way
trying
they
to
do
fool
it.
DMV into thinking somebody else signed it.
Maybe you could go
Oh,
that
no,
way.
well, then you got to explain to me, because then I have to understand. So you sold him a car with the understanding that the reassignment's supposed to be filled out by whom? I guess that's what I'm
The
asking.
buyer. The minute
He is the buyer, so what difference does it make that he didn't sign it until he got to the
he
counter?
went blank to a DMV without signing it. That's why.
I think you're making it up as you go along.
No, you can even
Yeah,
ask
because
him.
you're not the guy at the counter. This is the guy who's at the counter.
This is what he explained to me. They're not
What
giving
about
it
the
to
fact
him.
that there's like a 100,000-mile difference on the odometer and that somebody's messing with the odometer? What about that?
So if the title isn't clear, can the buyer undo the deal?
They should definitely be able to have that chance to undo the deal, because that's just wonky, you know?
Except it's a private sale. You could say, well, it's as is, tough luck, you take your chances. Is title different?
I think the title is as important as the car itself. Without proof of ownership, and you're basically left with not being able to register it or do anything else with it.
I'm going to leave it at that because I think you nailed it. Going inside the courtroom.
What about the fact that the title has one owner, Richardson Imports, and that the assignment has a dealer named Progressive? Those are two different entities. What about that? You think maybe that had something to do with the problem at the counter?
Possible.
Oh, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If he registered the car, got back the title in his name, what am I doing here?
You cost him a bunch of time and trouble, and he wants you to pay because
the
you
thing.
have an obligation. You have one thing you got to do when you sell a used car, okay? You can't lie about it. You can't give a warranty you don't honor. Three things. You can't give a warranty you don't honor, and you got to give good title. The only responsibility you have is to give good title that he can walk over to the DMV and file. What ended up happening instead is that you gave him a title that stuff wasn't done properly on throughout the many people who owned it. It had, the title had one mileage, the reassignment had another mileage. The title had one name, the reassignment had another name. So you cost him Herculean efforts, time, trouble, and money, and he wants you to pay it. Do you understand it now? Because I'm going to make you pay it. All right. Based on the evidence that you presented, I find as follows. You're not entitled to the mechanic charge. You would have spent that anyway. You are entitled to the car insurance charges that you were able to prove. You're not entitled to the parking garage charges because I just don't find that you've presented sufficient proof that you actually paid that. You are entitled to the car rental. Gas is something you would have spent anyway. Tolls is something you did not provide me with proof of, right?
Right.
Okay, and you would have spent for tolls anyway. And you are entitled to what you have been able to prove in terms of your bus fares. And I'm going to find that you're entitled to your lost wages. Because you can't just do what you want and, you know, kind of not follow the rules and then cost somebody this kind of grief and aggravation and not pay. So I find in your favor in the amount of $908.36, and I'm ordering the defendant to pay you that sum. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, here comes the defendant out of the courtroom. Step right over here. What's your take on the outcome of this case?
To be honest with you, he wanted to, sue me for all that he's got. He had a problem with the title. He got the title. He got the car registered. I mean, what more do you want? You want to charge me for car washes too? Come on, it's out of hand.
Well,
So-
it's the fact that he had to go through a lot of trouble to get those things done.
But I mean, it must have really been a great deal if he suffered that hard because he's keeping the car. So I guess he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too,
Well, what did you learn here?
What did I learn?
You don't want to be back in court again, I don't think, right?
No, just you got to watch who you deal with.
So you think it was the individual, nothing you did?
Not that it was my fault.
Okay.
'Cause on both sides, you have to watch what you deal with. The person I got it from, the person I sold it to. So obviously it was the same thing. Nah, so.
All right. Okay, sir. You satisfied?
Yes, I am.
You didn't get everything you sued for.
But you know what? The guy talks smooth, but he's doing shiesty dealings. So you know what? I'm glad it turned out in my favor.
You picked him.
No comment.
What did you learn?
What did I learn? sometimes you should just settle things in court.
All right, Harvey?
Okay, the key to this case is very simple. You cannot sell a car unless you have clear title. If the title isn't clear, in good standing, if you will, then you know what? The person who buys it from you can undo that deal. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.